All right, let's talk some Towers of Aghasba and some early thoughts on it. Very early thoughts. From what I'm told, I'm like less than 10% of the way through even the early access stuff. At like, want to say 5 or 6 hours in. I can be a little bit of a time waster sometimes while I'm putzing around in these games. So this is a tropical biome that I create, anyways. So Towers of Aghasba. Well, we'll start with the right out of the gate. Towers of Aghasba is an early access game, which means that you pay $40 to access it right now. So it's a product, but at the same time, if you're not up for early access, you may want to just avoid that whole scenario. Obviously, if you want to support the game, and you want to throw your $40 in, $40 Canadian, I think it's like 35 or 30 US. I always talk in Canadian money. That's as a handy tip for those new to the channel. Like if you, I think there's potential here to support, but I can also see where people are like, I don't want to pay for this in this current state, and that's equally valid for any early access game. I'll just casually go up there and grab some stuff. This tree is a feedback item because it's very hard to climb, but so yeah, it's early access. That said, I will say out of every early access I've been on, everything from Fortnite to Paragon before it became predecessor, blah blah blah. God, those were train wrecks early access. Ark was another one. 7 Days to Die. By far, this Warframe to an extent. By far, this is the one I've seen the most actual activity from the devs ever in my life. Literally, as I was starting up this video, or kind of hashing out the little notes I have for my thoughts, the devs are like, here's the third patch, and it's like 3 pages long. If you're coming off other reviews of this particularly, they're changing some of the RNG, so fiber will always be guaranteed. The fiber bushes will also be more common than like random aloe leaf and root bushes and stuff, which is a big thing that's been a source of complaints. I can plant like 40 fiber bushes and I'll get a bunch of roots instead. And there are other ways to get roots, which are much more effective, stuff like that. Streamline some of the early quest requirements. One of the big one is rope and sticks is going to be no more. Sticks are just going to become wood, and when you pick up a stick, you get one piece of wood. And rather than picking up fiber to craft 2 fiber into ropes, anything that requires ropes will just require 2 fiber in that slot instead. So yeah, a lot of quality streamlining. That stick thing has annoyed me in basically every game it's been in, and it's still in Minecraft to this day, where you have to pick up the wood, make the wood into planks, make the planks into sticks in Minecraft. Like, can you not just... It's a weird alien vision. Also, there's mounts in this game, if you weren't aware. Once you get a little bit in, you will get your mount, as long as you prioritize the stable quest. So yes, Towers of Aghasba thoughts. The environment, the area design, some of the unique creatures you find are fantastic. Like, this is very far from either relying entirely on real world things or having a very limited option of fauna. There's me kicking my chair, but yeah, this is just stuff I have. This isn't even everything I've unlocked. This is everything I've actually managed to scan. Some of these are in that tropical place. Some of them are running around. There's one, I won't spoil it for the episode, but I was harvesting something, and this creature just popped out and insta-killed me pretty much because I was stupid and tried to scan it while it was attacking me. So my fault. So Towers of Aghasba, very chill exploration game. There is combat in here. It's not super complicated. Currently, it's very much along the lines of early Conan Exiles. I know Conan got a little more complex with the combat, though still not massively later on. It's more advanced than something like Ark. But yeah, despite the other similarities to Breath of the Wild, I wouldn't put it in that league. This is the stable you have to build. There are different terrains around here. This biome's very kind of similarly looking. I am attempting to get over here somewhere specific in mind. Yeah, so what do you do in Towers of Aghasba? So basically, you've come back to your ancestral homeland here after being exiled in some kind of great cataclysm, and everything's a barren wasteland, and you're working with the leftover nature spirits to kind of bring it back. The game does have a system. You can kind of see up in the top right, I've got this little random number that means nothing to you if you haven't played the game. That's your entity. Basically, kind of your harmony points, we'll call it. When you harvest something, you lose that. When you plant something or feed an animal or heal an injured animal, you gain that. So, and you need that to perform a lot of different upgrades, so you're going to very much want to keep that in the positive. You can also gain it by defeating the actual, like, evil enemies, too. So yeah, some people are kind of like, why can't you get tame? Why can't you get tame the animals and throw them all in houses and pens? And that's very much against the spirit of the game. Like it's like very much about not, the theme of the game is about not mass manufacturing things. You will also love, this is the map, by the way. It's 6 hours and I've gone mostly into these spots you can see here. Kind of icon spammy, I know. But hey, you can't accuse it of not giving you some direction. You unlock a fast travel thing at some point between portals as well. I won't spoil too much of that for you. Hi there. So yeah, that's the general gist of the game. You build different settlements. I've got 2. I think there's 5 or 6 different ones you can build. You'd only get like 1 settlement in kind of a region. So, and you're somewhat open about where you can place them. I've jumped off the wrong side of this mountain from what I was intending. Now, as to what I think of it, also the more you restore a zone, the more grass there will be. It starts off dead, but essentially builds up. As to what do I think of it, I'm not going to give it a rating. It's an early access game that could literally change tomorrow, for instance. Right now, I'm definitely enjoying the game. I've enjoyed my time with it, both the first one through I had before the patch. I didn't run into the issue they were patching. It actually required the restart for some people, but I restarted it anyways. This is a little secret chest, by the way. You can actually use it to get that glider early in the tutorial area, rather than after you finish the tutorial. If you remember where that is. Obviously, you got some pretty open-ended free exploration here. There is stuff to find out. You can find different ruins and fancy groves and things. Some of them you can interact with, some of them are just there. As I said, I'm not too far in the game to make any huge sweeping commentaries on the grand plot or how particularly samey it may or may not get. This is another one of the biomes that we've built. One thing they are increasing is the amount of stuff you can plant in a biome, because this one you can kind of tell is getting feeling a little thin. What's in the game, you can feed your creatures, you can hunt the creatures, but you got to do that whole balance thing I was mentioning. There is fishing. It's a little janky. You actually have to like kill the fish at this point. I mean, you kill fish normally, but I mean, like, literally I have to go up here and like shoot them with a bow and arrow or throw a fishing spear at them. There's a couple other special arrows you can get. You can get one that makes platforms to help you climb up cliffs as well. grab that while I'm thinking about it. So yeah, I've enjoyed my time with the game. I think if you're into survival games, you will probably like it. There's a caveat there if you're into survival games, but you're really into that final phase a lot of survival games get into with automation and dominating stuff and setting up massive farms and grinding. This isn't going to be the game for you. Because this is much more about building, exploring and building and kind of doing it in a chill way. Like, you're not going to lead an army of T-Rexes and factory farm up bullets or anything like that type scenario. There's usually a carnivore around here who likes to bite me when I'm not looking, but I guess he's not here right now. Neither is one of the bigger oh, there he is. There's the bigger animal. So yeah, you upgrade these trees over time. This guy will give you like a list of objectives. Once you complete the objectives, you can make the tree bigger. So you start with a much smaller tree. As you upgrade it, both your ecosystem gets bigger, you can get different plants, different animals. Different animals drop resources when you feed them. The stuff at the bottom there, you can see what you get on the right there. It is kind of weird that you can get like hide and hooves and bones by feeding them, but sure. There's literally a forest god and sprites that wander around, some magic, I guess. This big boy, I might have something to feed him. I don't. They're also like, they've also talked about adding a whole bunch of different stuff onwards later on in the game. So stuff like getting a different mount or something like that isn't totally off the table. You can see some of these guys have just kind of wandered out here. I'll bring my mount back as well. So yeah, for the $40 early access, I think you get your money's worth, essentially. I mean, if we're using a general comparison of different games on here that you can get. It's probably reasonably worth your time. I've certainly enjoyed it. If you're following the channel along, I am going to run the series. I'm going to try and, for this series, I've labeled them all early access to start with, but I'm going to try and actually somehow include what update I'm on as well. These harehounds, the wild ones, can get a little weird. It sounds like they're fighting something. This is the big boy, right? I'll just show this off. Come and get it. Crouch down too. Not sure. It stops you from falling when you crouch. I'm not sure about any kind of stealth procedure. See, as you can tell, I got a bunch of anity there, and if I creep over here, he's dropped some poop for us. And milk. Didn't think that was on your drop list, but sure. Oh, that's just a random stick. And yeah, then I'll go show you the building stuff really quick back at the town. So when you build a town, you're initially given the job of building a tower, except for the second town, which is a fixed location. So you build your first tower, which is this thing over here, and then that kind of sets the town limits, essentially. And then you upgrade this tower over time, which is one of these things around here does it. Yeah, so that's to upgrade the town. Then there's some other big major structures like this. This is what's called a production structure. This one is a farm, obviously. I have a sawmill at the other place. Then you also have the stuff like this hut over here. Those are, and when you build a tower, you get a free portal. Stuff like this hut over here built at this crafting thing. They give you what's called culture points, but you can also use them to decorate to your heart's content, assuming you have the resources. So you can see there's only like a couple of different things I can make here, but I can build a hut. If I build the hut, it will go into my inventory, and I can decide where I want to place it. What I find with these blueprints is I have a really hard time finding the door. There it is. You can raise it up and down too, but it will get upset with you if you try and put it in a particularly janky thing. These ones you can remove and move around. These ones, other ones you cannot. They're they're looking into it because it's been requested, but you also have some stuff like I can craft a campfire and a tent. Tents are used to pass the time, and campfires are used for exactly what you would think, just making food. Important note, you don't have to drink it all, and food just restores your HP. So if I eat this root, which is terrible food, you watch my red bar, it'll refill in. If you die, that's very important. If you die, you will get sent back to the nearby town but you only have half your health, and you'll have to eat to regain it. Currently, there's no other penalty for dying. Like I said, it's a very chill game, and that's what the director himself said in Discord, is they want a chill survival game. They're not looking to make like crazy intense combat or anything. They're looking more about the crafting and exploration and kind of chill vibes and all of that stuff. Anyways, it's been a fairly lengthy ramble for my little ramble thoughts videos. I'll put the link for the playlist down in the description below. Remember to check out the Let's Play if you want to see some more. Keep in mind some of that, because of the stuff is being updated live and there's a lag in the uploads. Currently I'm on like episode 12 as far as actually recording things. So what's in the Let's Play may not be reflective of the current version of the game at any given point, as it is early access. Of course, if you want to support the game, if you like the look of it and the cut of its jib, throw in the cash. You can always hop on the Discord, check out what other people are saying, or talk to the devs directly. They seem to be kind of active in, like, I think they're European, but it's like a very early Eastern time zone, like early morning, or very late, depending on your perspective there. Very late Pacific time zone. And yeah, that's Tower of Aghasba for now. That's the early thoughts. We'll get to a little more maybe when I get a little farther into the game, or if I hit the end of the early access. And of course, you can follow along with the Let's Play and check out the other links down below. I've been playing on Twitch a fairly large amount recently. That's the word I'm looking for. Anyways, thanks for watching. Consider dropping a like and subscribe here if you want to see more. We will see you next time, and have a good weekend.